Hello, good morning, everyone. I guess you can see the screen now.
Perfect, Jeff.
Yes. So welcome to this session on workshop on AI basics for image processing. As I understood that some of you were present in the first session, but maybe some of you didn't. So just to give you a brief, very brief overview of the ANERIS project. The ANERIS project aim is to develop tools that make possible a concept called operational marine biology. So how can we develop processes and technologies that automate the process of going from the data sources to marine biology data products? And one very important part of these data sources are imaging types of data. And that's what the ANERIS project Work Package 3 is mostly working on. I'm going to tell you today a brief introduction specifically about one of the technologies that we are developing in these imaging work packages, which is, I hope that it inspires or it gives some ideas to some of you for your projects or research. So my name is Alex Alcocer. I'm a professor at Oslo Metropolitan University. And I'm originally from Barcelona, but I've been since 2012 living in Norway. And I work at the Ocean Laboratory. This is a small laboratory in the center of Oslo. We are a few meters from the waterfront, which makes it very simple to develop and test technologies that we are developing in the lab. So first, we're going to talk about a bit about imaging and specifically underwater observatories. Getting data or getting images subsea is usually quite a complicated issue. Underwater observatories have typically a very large cost, and there are relatively few amount of research centers and universities that can afford the cost of this infrastructure. Usually you have long cables with power and fiber optics, or if they are self-contained without connection to land, they need to be battery powered with large batteries. It's very complicated to deploy them, recover, maintain them. So this is an issue that we wanted to tackle in the ANERIS project. And one of the ideas that we had was to try to develop some low-cost underwater observatory that could be used and developed by many more universities and researchers than it is today. So the idea was to use commercial off-the-shelf components that are typically used in low-cost remotely operated vehicles, so ROVs, and use only the imaging parts so that we can provide affordable, long-term, continuous imaging. One of the concepts was to use a surface box on the surface from which we can provide power and internet connectivity to the cameras. And another concept was to use this sort of technology to expand existing cabled subsea observatories. So the end goal would be to have an inexpensive way of obtaining a large amount of images continuously, from which AI algorithms can be applied to, for instance, count fish, detect invasive species. There's a lot of applications, measure the turbidity of the water. There's a lot of applications, yeah. One of the challenges that we have to deal with when we are willing to deploy an instrument for a very long time underwater is the problem of biofouling. Biofouling is all the biological mass that will grow. It depends on the depth of deployment, the amount of light, the turbidity, but in some locations, this is really dramatic. Like after a few days or weeks of deployment, your instruments can be completely wasted, filled with matter. Some of the typical solutions to deal with this problem of biofouling are mechanical wipers. so that you see in the picture on the right, on the left, and also ultraviolet lights. Both have pros and cons, and some are more appropriate for some applications than others, but none of these methods is perfect. So there are a lot of challenges on using these methods. So in ANERIS project, we try to develop a low-cost subsea camera observatory using off-the-shelf components. And here you can see some of the examples of components that we have been using. So it's a Raspberry Pis, simple signal converters used in affordable remotely operated vehicles for transmitting the video signal over long distances with inexpensive cables. And we have played with different methods to mitigate the biofouling problem. One of the first methods that we're using is a mechanical wiper, but in a specific configuration, it is a magnetically coupled mechanism, which means that there are no motors exposed to seawater. And here you see an example of the first prototypes of this wiper mechanism. And here, one of the first prototypes of this ANERIS low-cost subsea observatory. We have done some basic deployments in Oslo Fjord to test the concept. We have a lot to improve the technology during the ANERIS project. We are just barely in the first phases of the project. You can see some pictures of the deployment while the lights are on at night in Oslo Fjord. And I wanted to show you a short video. I think that you will see the video of this prototype of camera. Here you can see the wiper prototype magnetically coupled. This is supposed to operate once a day or once every few hours. We have a small water tank in the Ocean Lab where we can test things before deploying them at sea. So here's some verification. And here where we deployed at a very shallower depth, this observatory. Oslo Fjord, the visibility is unfortunately not very good. And the amount of fish also, there's not a lot. We were carrying also underwater hydrophone. So we were synchronizing the images with acoustic information. And yeah, and the image quality, as you can see, is very bad. Also, the camera that we were using was not very good. So we are working now on improving the image sensor. And at night, when you turn on the lights, all sorts of fish gets attracted to it. So yeah. So we hope that during the project, this to develop this technology further and have several prototypes. To deploy them in different nodes of the project. One is in Barcelona with the Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya in OPSI, and another in Smart Bay in Ireland.